The bright red magma seemed to have devoured the world. At a glance, it appeared as though the entire world was filled by 100,000 feet magma. A terrifyingly high temperature had turned this entire world into a furnace. Both armies were forced to hastily withdraw because of the monstrous huge magma wave. Many pairs of eyes were shocked as they looked under the magma. At this moment, even they were able to sense an extremely terrifying creature hidden under the sea of magma. Gu Yuan and Hun Tiandi had also halted because of this scene. Their eyes cautiously looked towards the magma sea. Even they could sense a danger under its powerful aura. It seems that Xiao Yan is indeed right. There is indeed a mysterious creature guarding the ancient god mansion. Gu Yuan's face was solemn as his eyes flickered. Rumble. The magma waterfall that rose to the air descended abruptly and landed into the magma sea. It turned into a huge wave that quickly spread apart and covered the distant mountain. With the fall of the giant wave, a huge creature suddenly rose from within the sea of magma. Although it was only a small portion of the creature's body, it was still extremely big. The mysterious creature's head, which vaguely contained a ferocious and pressuring aura, rose from under the magma and looked at the many people in the sky. Those huge eyes had a surprise flashing across them. It is unexpected that there is really someone who has obtained the Tushi ancient god jade and summoned the ancient god mansion from that damn place. The mysterious creature's huge eyes swept over the sky. Finally, they paused on Gu Yuan and Hun Tiandi duo. Although there were many people in this world, only these two were worthy of being treated seriously by him. Gu Yuan and Hun Tiandi's eyes were grave and cautious as they looked at the mysterious creature. Even with the experience that the both of them had, they were still unable to identify this enormous creature. After all, they had only seen a small section of this mysterious creature. I am the clan head of the Gu clan, Gu Yuan. May I know who? Gu Yuan cupped his hands together towards this mysterious creature and spoke in a deep voice. Hun Tiandi by the side was also afraid that Gu Yuan would cooperate with that mysterious creature. Immediately, he cupped his hands together and uttered his identity. His tone was exceptionally courteous. Gu clan?
Hun clan?
It seems like two factions that were not considered big back then. It is unexpected that you were able to obtain the Tushi ancient god jade. That mysterious creature emitted a deafening roar after hearing the both of them speak. It caused the surface of the magma to rise and formed many magma fire pillars. Gu Yuan and Hun Tiandi were startled upon hearing these words. Based on those words, it seemed that this creature had existed for a long time. Tens of thousands of years ago, the Hun clan and the Gu clan were indeed not considered some top factions. Ugh. Who has summoned the ancient god mansion? Come to think of it, this emperor does owe him a favor. That mysterious creature once again asked without being concerned about the shock of those two. Gu Yuan and Hun Tiandi had a change of expression upon hearing this. The formers became uglier while the latter rejoiced. Ha ha, this friend, the ancient jade is in my hand. Naturally, only I am able to summon the ancient god mansion. Hun Tiandi stepped forward and laughed. The mysterious creature glanced at Hun Tiandi. Suddenly, an intense light surged. Immediately, its incomparably huge body suddenly shrunk. Within a short instant, it had turned into a purple golden-haired middle-aged man. He lifted his head. Those eyes of his were filled with a rich pressure as they stared at Hun Tiandi. He laughed faintly and said, I have received your favor and ought to aid you. However, I currently have other things to do. Therefore, we will settle this in the future. Who? Gu Yuan quickly sighed in relief, while the face of Hun Tiandi by the side involuntarily twitched. A chill flowed deep within those eyes. If it was not because he was afraid of the terrifying strength of the mysterious person, it was likely that he would have already given the order to kill it. That middle-aged man ignored Hun Tiandi after he finished speaking. His golden eyes suddenly swept over the sky, after which they paused on one of the figures. An icy cold expression immediately flashed across both of his eyes. Xiao Yan in the sky wore a cautious expression. His face was slightly altered after he saw that this mysterious person had actually threw his eyes towards him. Could it be that this fellow still remembered him? "Brat, come over." The middle-aged man looked towards Xiao Yan. He extended his large hand, and a dragon roar appeared. Subsequently, a golden large claw broke through the air and struck towards Xiao Yan. "Damn it!" Xiao Yan's expression became unusually ugly after he saw that this fellow had simply attacked as he liked. His body hurriedly pulled back. At the same time, a spiritual figure appeared. The yellow spring divine anger was also quickly unleashed. Mao! The spiritual sonic wave ruthlessly smashed onto the large golden claw. However, the latter did not move. "Mister, may I know how has Xiao Yan offended you?" Gu Yuan's expression also changed upon seeing this scene. He hurriedly cried out, "Humph, my target is him alone. I will fight you if you intervene." The mysterious person cried out in an icy cold voice after hearing Gu Yuan's cry. He had detected the scent of his child from Xiao Yan's blood a couple of days ago. That bloodline strength was unique to their tribe. Yet, Xiao Yan was clearly a genuine human when one looked at him. In that case, there was only one answer. He had once devoured and refined his child's bloodline strength. His child might have even been killed by this person. The ferocious expression within this mysterious person's eyes had become extremely dense the moment he thought of this. "Ha ha, Gu Yuan. It seems that even the heavens aren't helping you." Han Tianyi was also startled because of this scene. However, he quickly recovered and involuntarily laughed out loud. Gu Yuan's face was furious green. Although he was unaware of why this mysterious person would target Xiao Yan, the latter was ultimately a member of the Alliance army. Moreover, Xiao Yan was also Gu Yuan's son-in-law. Naturally, it was impossible for Gu Yuan to simply watch him be killed by this mysterious person. He immediately cried out furiously, "Stop him!" Lei Ying and the rest from the Alliance army clenched their teeth upon hearing Gu Yuan's voice. They could only summon their courage and attack. Xiao Yan was not an ordinary character. He was not someone whom they could simply abandon. Hence, they could not choose to stand idly by the side and do nothing. Humph! Rushing wind sound appeared from around the mysterious person as the latter attacked Xiao Yan. The mysterious person snorted coldly. He suddenly lifted his head. A roar, which caused even the world to tremble, wildly swept apart. Bang bang! Lei Ying, who had just charged forward, had not had the time to attack when he was struck by the terrifying sonic wave. Immediately, he was shot backwards. Blood continuously churned in his body while his face was covered with shock. "Brat, hand over your life." That mysterious figure flashed and appeared in front of Xiao Yan, who was pulling back. His hand grabbed towards Xiao Yan's head. Bang! A huge 9-colored light suddenly flashed across the sky when the mysterious person was attacking. It surrounded Xiao Yan's body and quickly withdrew. 9-colored heaven-swallowing python? It is unexpected that there are still heaven-swallowing pythons still existing in this world. That mysterious person was startled because of this scene. His eyes looked at the 9-colored giant python in the sky and exclaimed in surprise, "Gold Emperor incinerating heaven execution." The golden flame spread throughout the sky amidst a roar. Finally, it turned into a golden light beam that was tens of thousands of feet in size. Finally, it smashed ruthlessly towards that mysterious person. Bang! The mysterious person threw a punch forward in the face of this attack. That ordinary palm wind immediately shattered the light ray when the punch was thrown. Insignificant attack. The punch shattered the ray of light. That mysterious person smiled faintly. Immediately, His golden eyes looked towards Xiao Yan in the distance. He opened his stride and appeared in front of the latter in a ghost-like fashion. "You won't be able to escape." The ferocious expression within the mysterious person's eyes suddenly soared as he looked at Xiao Yan, who was a short distance away. Purple gold light appeared, after which it struck towards Xiao Yan and Sun Er beside him. "Go!" The light came striking over, after which the surrounding space was directly sealed. Xiao Yan's expression changed drastically. Immediately, a crazy expression suddenly rose into his eyes. His palms smashed onto Sun Er beside him, and a huge force shattered the area around the light seal. His body began to swell rapidly. He was actually planning on self-destructing his physical body. Although the self-destruct of one's physical body would not lead to one's death once one reached Xiao Yan's level, it would still result in an extremely great harm. It might even affect Xiao Yan's foundation. However, he did not have any choice at this moment. "Don't!" Sun Er's expression quickly paled after seeing this scene. Her originally cool and cold voice had suddenly become sharp. "Damn, brat, you are really ruthless." That mysterious person was also startled by Xiao Yan's ruthlessness. However, his attack did not weaken. Xiao Yan's body swelled rapidly. Just when his body was about to collapse, a light seal on his hand suddenly unleashed a brilliant luster. The dragon seal Ziyin had left on him allowed the both of them to detect if the other was in a dangerous situation. "Xiao Yan, don't self-destruct." An anxious female voice was suddenly emitted from within the flickering light seal, after which a bright golden light suddenly surged from the dragon's seal. It quickly wrapped around Xiao Yan's body and suppressed his symptoms of being about to self-destruct. Chi! The space in front of Xiao Yan swiftly split and formed a huge crack line after Xiao Yan's self-destruct was suppressed. Bright golden light erupted. Finally, it turned into a huge golden dragon. The dragon curled and swiftly wrapped around Xiao Yan. "Ziyin, give way." Xiao Yan's expression changed drastically after he saw the huge dragon, which had suddenly broke out from the space. Given Ziyan's strength, her body would be instantly shattered into a pool of blood if that attack firmly struck onto her body. The large purple gold seal, which was filled with a terrifying strength, suddenly appeared above the head of the huge dragon in front of the shocked eyes of the Alliance army and the wild joy of the Hun clan. However, the huge seal suddenly halted just when everyone thought that blood would splatter. The light seal rapidly collapsed. Light shot out in all directions and shone onto that mysterious person's face. His body had begun to shudder as though he was suffering from a stroke. "Child!" The purple gold light seal was suspended over the huge dragon's head. Even Ziyin could only shut her eyes in the face of the great destructive force. However, when she was prepared to endure this sudden extermination like assault when the light seal came to a sudden halt, panting sounds suddenly appeared across the sky as everyone watched the still light seal above the huge dragon's head. Some of the experts from the Hun clan revealed disappointed expressions. "Bastard!" Gu Yuan's expression had become relatively ugly. He clenched his teeth and his body flashed. After which, he gave up on dealing with Hun Tiandi and appeared in front of the mysterious person. He waved his sleeve and a powerful wind forced Ziyin and Xiao Yan back. Both of his eyes contained some fury as he looked at the mysterious person in front of him and demanded in a deep voice, "Aren't you a little overboard to use a fatal attack the moment you strike?" That mysterious person acted as though he did not hear Gu Yuan's words. His eyes were stunned as they stared at the large golden dragon wrapped around Xiao Yan. He could sense an extremely familiar bloodline sent from within the golden dragon's body. That was a bloodline from the same ancestry. The only one in this world who could possess it was the child of his from back then. Child! Those golden eyes of that mysterious man, which were originally filled with a monstrous-like ferocity, had become gentle at that moment. His heart, which had been calm and quiet for countless of years, suddenly pounded intensely. His eyes stared at Zi Yin as he muttered. Gu Yuan was startled upon seeing this fellow's expression. He frowned and asked, "Who is your child?" The huge golden dragon shrunk swiftly. Finally, it turned into a purple-haired lady with a graceful figure. Her pretty eyes were a little furious as he glared at the mysterious person. After which, she supported Xiao Yan beside her and asked, "Are you all right?" "I'm fine. Why have you come?" Xiao Yan wiped off the trace of blood on the corner of his mouth. He glanced at Zi Yin beside him and involuntarily asked with a bitter smile, "How dare you ask me this? Such a big matter has occurred, yet you did not inform my ancient void dragon tribe." Zi Yan's eyebrows were straightened when this was mentioned. Finally, she spoke angrily. "This matter is far too big. If your ancient void dragon tribe is dragged into it and something unexpected occurs, you will have difficulty surviving." Xiao Yan sighed. Given the Hun clan's character, which faction on this continent would be able to survive independently if they managed to obtain the ancient god mansion? Zi Yin rolled her eyes toward Xiao Yan. She quickly looked at the mysterious person, who was blocked by Gu Yuan. With a frown, she asked, "Who is this person? What terrifying strength?" However, this aura of his seems a little familiar. Her final sentence was extremely soft. After all, she did not remember that she was once acquainted with such a powerful person. The guardian of the ancient god mansion. I do not know why he is insisting on killing me. Xiao Yan laughed bitterly. He had merely barged into that realm below and did not have any deep hatred with this person. Hence, he was completely unable to comprehend the mysterious person's murderous intent. Things are a little troublesome. Zi Yin sighed. Her hand gently drew across the space in front of her. A spatial crack was formed. One could hear the sound of rushing wind from within it. Soon after, many figures came rushing out. They were surprisingly the elders of the ancient Void Dragon tribe. Although my ancient Void Dragon is no longer as strong as when it was at its peak, we will definitely repay the great favor you have bestowed upon our ancient dragon tribe. This time around, we will use all of our strength to help you." Xiao Yan widened his mouth after seeing the many elders from the ancient Void Dragon tribe. He sighed and gravely cupped his hands together towards these people. A mere thanks does not do justice to such a big favor. Xiao Yan will remember the help you have lent me today. Haha, Mr. Xiao Yan is too courteous. If you had not intervened time and time again, how would our ancient dragon tribe get the chance to unite? The many elders immediately cupped their hands together and courteously said after hearing Xiao Yan's words, "Haha, this friend. If you wish to kill that brat, I can help you block this Gu Yuan." Hun Tiandi looked at the mysterious person facing off against Gu Yuan. His heart involuntarily rejoiced as he laughed. Gu Yuan's expression immediately changed upon hearing those words. "Stop being a busybody." That mysterious person, who was originally extremely fierce, suddenly cried coldly towards Hun Tiandi as Gu Yuan's expression changed. "You." Seeing that his friendly attempt was met with a cold response, Hun Tiandi involuntarily became furious despite his control over himself. However, he quickly suppressed it. A dense expression flashed across his eyes. "Zhuhua, you little brat. Do you still remember this emperor?" That mysterious person turned his head after forcing Hun Tiandi back with his words. His eyes turned towards the ancient dragon tribe's elder and cried out in a deep voice, "Arrogant fellow." That group of ancient Void Dragon tribe elder was immediately greatly furious. This fellow was actually putting them down with his words. That mysterious person was startled after being furiously chided by these elders. He immediately felt neither able to laugh nor cry. It had been so many years. Even with the lifespan of the ancient dragon tribe, it was likely that very few could live until now. The person standing at the leader's spot amongst the many elders was currently the oldest first elder of the ancient Void Dragon tribe. He was also the Zhuhua that the mysterious person had mentioned. His eyes were currently a little stunned as he looked at the mysterious person. Those turbid eyes of his were a little lost in deep thought. The ancient Void Dragon tribe had not had a dragon emperor for a long time. This emperor is the true current dragon emperor of the ancient Void Dragon tribe. Xian's face was also a little icy as she spoke in a faint voice.
Ugh.
Seeing Xian opened her mouth, the mysterious person, who had a face filled with might and dignity earlier, immediately became stunned. Gu Yuan had expected him to attack and hurt someone when he surprisingly rubbed his hands together in embarrassment. He nodded repeatedly. You are correct. It is right for you to become the Dragon Emperor. You should be the Dragon Emperor. Everyone, including Xian, was stunned upon seeing his appearance. They quickly revealed some strange expression. This fellow was really strange. This elder, today is the big war between our alliance army and the Hun clan. I hope that you can stand idly by the side and not intervene. This Yan's expression softened as she said, Not intervene? All right. I will do as you say. Hee, can you allow me to get a little closer? That mysterious person nodded without hesitation after hearing this, after which he uttered those words with a straight face. Nothing in his current behavior displayed the demeanor of an extremely skilled person from earlier. Everyone felt as though they had been struck by lightning after hearing this mysterious request. Some black lines appeared on her forehead. However, she could only nod her head due to the other part's terrifying strength. Gu Yuan's group around frowned deeply upon seeing Fellow's sudden strange behavior. However, they involuntarily sighed in relief after seeing that this person did not have any murderous intent. Regardless of what the situation was, it was best not to be enemies with this person. That mysterious person's figure appeared in front of Xian in an instant after he had obtained permission to do so. His eyes swept over that beautiful face. That hard face of his revealed a complicated smile as he sighed softly. You look a lot like your mother. You have seen my mother? Xian's expression was quickly altered after hearing these words. She looked at the man in front of her in disbelief. When her eyes clearly saw the pair of golden eyes, a strange feeling suddenly rose from deep within her heart. This kind of unusual feeling caused Xian's delicate body to suddenly tremble. Her silver teeth gently bit her red lips. Suddenly, she extended her hand and grabbed the hand of the person in front of her. Bright golden light suddenly erupted from within both of their bodies the moment their hands made contact. Finally, the light merged perfectly at the point where their hands were in contact. A kind of extremely terrifying pressure vaguely spread. Bam! The many elders from the ancient dragon tribe behind Xian immediately knelt. That kind of pressure caused them to be unable to even retaliate. You? Xian was startled as she looked at the golden light, which entwined perfectly with each other. Great ripples appeared in her eyes. An instant later, she suddenly withdrew her hand as though she had suffered from an electric shock. Her pretty eyes stared at the gentle-looking man in front of her, and her eyes became icy. Xiao Yan, who was standing behind Xian, seemed to have comprehended something after seeing this scene. He could sense a bloodline strength completely similar to that of Xian. It was likely that there was a blood relation between the two. Moreover, this relationship could very be father and daughter. It was very likely that this mysterious person was the old dragon emperor of the ancient Void Dragon tribe who had been missing for thousands of years. No wonder he was planning to kill me. It is actually because my body possessed the ancient dragon essence blood that Xian had once given me. Only at this moment did he understand why this fellow was insisting on chasing him. However, from the looks of Xian's expression, it seemed that he was not overly excited. Nevertheless, Xiao Yan could sense the huge wave churning in her heart. Child! The purple-gold-haired man was a little helpless as he looked at Xian's face, which had suddenly turned icy cold. He clearly did not have much experience with regards to this. He could only continuously rub his hand and looked at Xian. He was completely unaware of how he should speak. I am an orphan. I do not have father and mother. Xian spoke in a cold voice. However, his voice caused one to feel a heartache. Xiao Yan sighed. Xian back then was living alone in the deep mountains of the Black Corner region. Although her talent was outstanding, her life was ultimately not good. Subsequently, she had accidentally eaten an unripe body-transforming grass. Only then was she brought to the Inner Academy by First Elder Su Qian. However, she continued to remain lonely. She gradually began to have friends only after meeting Xiao Yan. Now that he thought about it, that greedy and intelligent little girl had a heartache that no one knew. The purple-haired lady stubbornly stood in front of him. Some tears disappointingly rolled down her eyes as she spoke. Father, she had once greatly anticipated this scene. It's my fault. It's my fault. I should not be greedy for the ancient god mansion. It is all because of that bastard too, she ancient god. He had schemed against me and caused me to be trapped for such a long time. That stern-looking purple-gold-haired man panicked after seeing the tears within Xian's eyes. He tried to stumble forward. Child, stop crying. Stop crying. It is all my fault. Father will listen to you, no matter what you say in the future. I can swear if you don't believe me. Xiao Yan sighed in relief within his heart when he saw this peak expert, who had once shook the entire continent, acting in such a helpless manner. It seemed that he really did care greatly about Xian. The surrounding people were also completely quiet. Clearly, they did not know just what was happening. Those elders from the had all become stunned. A thought that caused them to tremble surged within their hearts. Xian gently inhaled. Her eyes were red as she stared at the somewhat straightforward middle-aged man, who originally had an extremely mighty aura, rubbing his hands in front of her. Suddenly, she extended her finger and pointed at Hun Tiendi in the distance. Her noise had some sound as she said, "In that case, can you kill him?" "All right." The middle-aged man was startled after hearing this. Immediately, a ferocious expression suddenly rose within his eyes.